Hello, everyone. We are live. Welcome
Hi.
to this week's episode of the live SEO site audits. Today, I'm joined with a very special guest, Bibi, the link builder. Bibi is actually probably the best, or at least most creative link builder, I think, of all time. Is that fair to say? Bibi, you can introduce yourself better than I can. So.
Wow, that's now I'm getting nervous because it's like no, I wouldn't call myself the best link builder, but I do try to be different and unique because that's an easier way to get unpaid links. I actually started as a social media marketer and then I started building affiliate sites. And I had a little mastermind group and they asked me to build links for their sites, for their affiliate sites. And that's how I started my business. And now, we have a pretty good agency, have about 18 people, and building links all day and all night, 24/7.
24/7. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
literally the kind of what you kind of get on with. But link building is massive though. Still, I think, yeah, and people do kind of talk about the value of links nowadays. Some people may think that links are less effective. So, what would you have to reply to people who say that, Bibi, based on like what your business is about?
Yeah, I always say the proof is in the pudding. So if someone says links are becoming less valuable or they have less effect, just try building some and watch for traffic, see what happens. Most of my clients see a huge increase, in our rankings, in our traffic, and also in the leads they're getting. So I wouldn't say it's not relevant at all anymore, but always keep on testing and seeing the results.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's a great point. I've noticed actually as well on the live chat that my camera's a bit weird. So let me just stop my camera and turn it back on, and hopefully it's
Is it
gets
pixely? Because it's
yeah,
pixely for me.
yeah, because I can see that on my other monitor. I'm like, oh, why is it like that? But I'll put it back on. Hopefully it'll resume itself soon. But anyway, if it's your first time here in these sessions, we kind of, I try and get different guests on each week to take a look at websites, and each guest will have their own kind of angle in terms of how they approach it. And Bibi obviously is famous for link building and building links. So that's the kind of angle I think that will be cool for us to go with this week. So let's just see who we've got in the chat today. We've got Micah, we've got Andy Woolley, great to see
Hey,
you.
Andy.
We've
Hey,
got Sad
Micah.
here.
Hey, Sad.
We've got Fred.
Hey,
We've got
Fred.
Fred. Yeah, Fred.
Valerie.
We've
That's
got
actually one of
Valerie.
your crew.
All right. Shout
Yeah,
out from the Philippines. Yeah, shout out to
awesome.
the Philippines. We've got Arthur as well. Hello, Arthur. Good to see
Hi,
you.
Arthur.
And so I think we did get a site from Fred, and he actually asked a question beforehand. So should we, Bibi, do you
Yeah.
want to quickly answer this question about, securing backlinks for directories like Yelp?
What's the best way to secure backlinks for directories like Yelp? I've never done link building for a directory. Do they mean they want to build links for Yelp itself?
No, I think it's just for directories, like building links to directories. For example, Yelp, but it could be any directory, I would assume.
Oh, I'm not sure. I think you need some kind of linkable asset that people find valuable and build links for that. So you have to look into the niche that you're targeting, the audience that you're targeting, and what they're interested in, and also the sites that cater to the same audience, what kind of content they have. But I'm not sure if I understood the question. Maybe Fred can elaborate a little bit more on it.
Yeah, I think based on what I understood the question to be, if you're building links for directories, in terms of the best way, I think first think of the types of directories you want to submit, get links from anyway, because if they're not relevant to your niche, and if they're not, and say, for example, you're a local business and they're not, in close proximity, I guess, in terms of location, then you should avoid it. That's what I would say anyway. So, if you're getting directory links, just make sure that they're relevant to your niche, and that if it is like a local business, make sure it's at least, in terms of location specific. and stuff like that. So hopefully that's helped. We've got.
So wait, is it links from directories? Or
yeah, that's what I thought. Just getting links from directories.
Right. I've never done those, but yeah, I would definitely focus on relevancy, and not bank your whole link building strategy on that. You need to have a varied backlink profile. So I wouldn't build like 50 links from directories, because that's not gonna look natural at all.
Yeah, keeping it natural. And obviously we'll be reviewing sites very, very soon. And we can kind of explain that in more detail. So hello, Ranking by Malin. How are you doing?
Hi, Malin.
We've got Sads doing good. Good to see you. Carl Morley here. Hello, welcome.
Hi, Carl.
We've got Min. Welcome to the live stream. And I think we can we've got a website here that Fred put in the chat as well. So what I'll do is I'll get started. I guess I'll get it up on my side. I'll share my screen, and then we can kind of look for. Obviously, the focus is going to be link building, I suppose, for this episode. But it's still always nice for people to get a kind of fresh, right out of the box look at their site, just so that you get other opinions from people and stuff like that. So I'm going to share my screen and we can get started. All right. So we've got shophub.pk. And this is something that, I noticed you had the exit intent pop up really quick. Do you want to display that as, in terms of somebody's first session on your site? I'm not sure. I think these kinds of things you should probably set up maybe after the second session or second time that somebody's been in your site, because people aren't really going to know you too well if it's your first time on the site. So let's see, in terms of what you do. So based on what I'm reading, you provide deals for gadgets, and I'm just looking here. The next and previous don't seem to do much, and I can't scroll down for me anyway. But let's just click on this, and the loading bar is here, I presume, but that's going really. Oh wait, what?
Yeah, it was really slow on my end.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what the navigation is like or how you intend people to navigate through this site, because this is a clickable element here, but the other image to the right of it wasn't, and I don't think the top one was as well. So, let me just go back just to show people what I mean. So, especially if you have an e-com site, obviously you want people to buy stuff. You've got to make it easy for people to navigate. Navigation is crucial with e-commerce sites. So, it's saying this is clickable, but the only thing that I can click on is shop now to get to the next page as well. And the speed is really slow. I haven't looked at the actual metrics. I haven't put it through GTmetrix or page speed insights, stuff like that, or Lighthouse. But, speed is something that I picked up straight away. Here, we've clicked shop and there's no products here. So, if at the moment it just looks like it's just an unfinished e-com store. That's what that seems to me.
So, Fred, maybe you can post in the comments a question that you have about this site, or what the intention of the site is. Because is it an Amazon affiliate site, or what is it? Because I'm super confused about it.
Well, I'm just looking through here, just in terms of the product pages. I don't think this is Amazon affiliate. I think it's literally just an e-com site selling gadgets. So obviously this page has products in it. So the category of under 1,500 rupees. So obviously you've got products there. The only thing that I'll really just try and look at is the product pages themselves. So the kind of things I will look at is, okay, you've got the specs there. That's fine. You've got a wish list. You can choose to compare. The reviews I'm not seeing just yet. And I feel like if this is your footer as well, you've got a lot of content in your footer. I'm not sure if all of that content is needed for people to see on every page. But where's the reviews? Do you have more images to show off this product? It might not be enough for people to really feel like, for conviction, to actually purchase these types of products. Also, sharing buttons, how likely is it for somebody to be looking for earphones and then want to share it on Twitter or share it on WhatsApp. I mean, maybe in some use cases, but I just feel like this is it's just too many call to actions, really, too many options for people to share. It might get a bit overwhelming. But Bibi, in terms of links, how's this site doing, actually?
Well, I was so confused by the site. I was trying to click around and look on the site itself, but I'm now looking at it in Ahrefs. I'm looking at the backlink profile, and I see links from coupon sites and then some blogspot stuff. And there's also a site called Babalatak. Yeah, I think the site needs a lot of work. It's not established yet. And I think you can get a lot more links, especially, I don't know how competitive this niche is in terms of gadgets, but I'm pretty sure if you look at your competitors, you'll see that they have way stronger links. Yeah, so I would definitely do some link building, but you have to fix some stuff on your site first. Oh, great, you found the blog. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, I just happened to stumble. So I'm on I don't know if this is so apparently this is still the homepage, but yeah, it's just when you scroll down a bit, and I'm just kind of thinking in my head, you got to think of how you can build links to your site. So it's not, loads of people will, and I'm sure you hear this a lot, Bibi, loads of people say, it's like, I want to build backlinks, and like, they'll just say that straight away, but there hasn't really been much thought in terms of, how exactly, what types of links are you trying to build? What type of content are you trying to boost? What are you trying to rank for, and that kind of stuff. Yeah. But, right off the bat, I mean, this is, there's not much content here.
But it's a start, right? So
it's a start. It's a start. I think, we've got to be quite critical, because obviously we want to kind of, give you advice that you can implement that will just make the user experience better, that makes it easier for you to rank, easier for you to get links. So I guess I'll just start by this little critique. I mean, this blog post looks better, at least because it has, some heading tags and whatnot. But with this, blog posts like this, Huawei's race to 5G smartphones. I mean, you can easily internally link this to a product that you have that's related to Huawei's, or just to smartphones in general. You've got opportunities to add videos in there, more imagery, multimedia, that kind of stuff. And I feel like, getting a link, say, for example, you want to build a link to this blog post, the chances of you getting a link to this blog post are quite slim, just because people will think, well, it just doesn't seem like it doesn't seem too comprehensive. So what do you think, Bibi?
Yeah, it depends a little bit on the strategy you choose. So, for instance, if you do guest posts, you can increase the chance of getting a link by having a really good guest post, like pitching really good content to an editor of a related site. And then the content that you have on your own site becomes less important. So you just got to make sure that you have good writers and good ideas for the prospects. And once you have that and you have a good email, you can win links even if your own site sucks in terms of content. So I've done link building for very hardcore product review sites that were horrible, but just by making the email very personable and engaging, and then pitching really good content, we were able to get links to it. That said, though, why make your life difficult? I would definitely, because you're beginning this site, I would invest in having better content that makes the site look more trustworthy in any case, because now it's just very confusing, and it will increase your chances. So if you're starting out, then make sure you have a good foundation on your site. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with this kind of site, it's the kind of thing where you've got to make your life easier. So it involves, as we mentioned before, there are some fixes to the site that you can make. The navigation would be one of my biggest problems right now, because when people click this hamburger icon, they just have a wish list. So, how do people navigate to your blog and see your content without having to scroll down really far? And how do people see all your products when, certain elements where you'd expect to click them and be able to reach your products aren't clickable? So these kind of things, I think, are kind of like step one in terms of just creating a better user experience, making sure that the design and the navigation and things are flowing well in your site and people can actually reach to the areas of the site that they want to get to. And then you can focus more on actually building these links. And Bibi, just any other kind of, let's say, if you were to build links to this site right now, what would it be? Like, what would you do right now?
Well, the first thing I would do is to think about your why, because I think often people, especially in SEO, they focus on metrics or they focus on other surface stuff, but they haven't really figured out why they would build backlinks. So if you look at this gadget site, what are your focus keywords, for the next 2 months? And also, don't target all the keywords and all the possible gadgets, but take the ones where you can easily move up, easy wins. So, for instance, if you're already ranking on page 1 and you're position 6 or something, or 4, then I would focus on keywords that are on a position, and that just by moving up one place in the top 3 or moving from page 2 to page 1 would make a difference. So pick your keywords and that you're going to focus on, and then think about, for instance, let's say it's the Huawei phone or something. Then think about where is your audience hanging out? I mean, are they on sites about video games or sites about smart devices or something else? And then define if you look into that niche, research if there's potential for a linkable asset. So you do that with, for instance, Ahrefs Content Explorer or something else. Is there something that's already getting a lot of links or getting a lot of traffic, or is there something in demand? And it can be a very simple lookup resource, like a simple table or something. So is there a linkable asset, potential for a linkable asset? And then you can create that and build links to it. Or otherwise, you can also start with a guest post campaign and then look at your prospects and come up with topics to pitch to them. So it's very important to start with your why, because that will give you more ideas about your strategy. I think if you just go like, oh, I want to have links, and you start very broad, you're not going to be laser focused on what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing we mentioned earlier as well. It's like you've got to understand that link building. It's not just you say the word and you do it. It's like there's so many things involved as part of a link building strategy, and it's important to kind of do the homework beforehand, and that makes it easier for you to have an idea in terms of how you're going to be acquiring links, exactly what types of methods you're going to use.
I can give you an example of the why thing. Is also, okay, so I have a client, they want links, we've determined the campaign, and then we start building the links, and a site actually says, no, I can't give a link, but can we do a collaboration, a partnership for a giveaway, right? And they have a social media following of 500,000 followers. And then the client says, no, because I want to have that link. They're so focused on the link that they forget why they're actually building links. They're building links because they want to gain authority, branding. They want to get more leads, more targeted traffic. And this partnership with that social media person or that company that has a big following would actually exactly get them that, right? But they're just thinking about the links. So,
yeah, solid point. So yeah, Fred, I hope that's helped you. We've got a few more.
Does he have a question or comment? Because I feel like I'm talking in the air, and maybe Fred's like, you're talking bullshit. You completely misunderstood my fucking site, you woman.
Yeah, Fred, let us know in the chat. We've got also Andy was mentioning as well, just for some quick wins. You can get WP Rocket, make the website faster. 9-second load is too slow, especially for e-commerce as well. I mean, people will not wait 9 seconds for it to load. They'll just go back onto Google and try a different site. So that's also really important.
And that's so important for link building as well, because people often check out the site that's reaching out to them, and if it's not loading, they go like, whatever, I'm not going to link to this site. They suck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. We've got Sajeed here. Hello. It's okay that you're late. You're here.
You're fired, Sajeed. You're fired. I didn't hire you. You're not in my team, but how can you be late? So offensive.
Well, he just said hello to you, Bibi. So come on.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, be nice. Come on. And if you did miss anything, you can go back on the live stream. You can click back on the red thing towards the bottom, so you can check back anything that you've missed. But you could do that afterwards anyway. And Fred, well, it seems that Fred appreciated the comments. And Carl has found that. And we did have a question, actually, kind of related, I suppose, in terms of the whole outreach stuff as well. And if anyone's got any questions specifically about link building, I guess do put it in, because that's what we're kind of trying to go for with this episode. So, I mean, a question like this, I'd be happy to have a chat with you later, but, we would just want to keep it laser focused so that we don't go off topic and then just get questions about, questions about PPC or something, because sometimes it happens, but we'll get back to that. We have a question. So Sajeed is saying, oftentimes if you outreach to a website, they'll charge you a lot of money if you want that link. So what is your approach, Bibi, if somebody does that?
That's such a good, again, this starts with your why also. So let's say you're an insurance company, right? And you're going to reach, you think, what audience do I want to reach to? And you say, I want to reach a budget savvy audience. And then you think, what sites could be good? Money saving sites, right? So a lot of money saving sites are very focused on money, and they monetize their site with the traffic. So will ask for money for the links. So you have to go back to your why and try to find angles where you reach out to niches that don't monetize with their site. Maybe actual companies that have a different monetization model. They actually have clients or something. They don't care that much about getting money for the links, Maybe they're really busy and they really need good content. So if you do guest post outreach, they're really happy with just the content. That's one thing. Then also when I prospect, I have my team manually check each site. If a site has a media kit or they openly ask for money, then we delete them. Except, if the client really wants those types of links or something. But we just delete them because it will decrease the chance of them asking for money. Also, when you reach out, avoid formal language and avoid sounding like a business. Because if you use formal language or you use very transactional language, somebody's going to think, they're a company. There's a gain for that company in this email. So they want to make money off me. So I'm going to ask for money back. So your outreach has to be tweaked in that way as well. That you have to try and make a connection with a person that's not based on transaction, but it's based on a personal level. So when you reach out, be personable, be funny, be interested in them. And people often, they love that so much that they won't ask you for money. I mean, it sounds really weird, but it actually happens. So if you manage to entertain someone with your outreach email, they'll give you a link. And if you do a good pitch, for a guest post or something, they're happy to accept it. I mean, I know nobody believes me because everybody says all prospects ask for money, but you have to tweak every part of your link building process until you reach those prospects with the right message. I've had travel bloggers give me free links and other niches as well, where makeup and beauty and all that stuff, where everybody says, they always ask for money. No, they don't. You just have to find the right way to approach them, and also the right way to filter those ones out where you think they're probably going to ask for money. For instance, there are also sites that are SEO'd and that are just built for selling links, and you will recognize them, or PBNs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's very, very good answer to that. We we do have another question as well, but before we do that, I think Bibi, you mentioned that Rushin, who's in the live stream now, submitted a site. So I think we can check that out. It was droneswatch.org.
Oh yeah.
So let me share my screen, and then we can kind of just carry on with that. And then once we've done that, then we can answer the question posed by Malin, and then we've got another website submitted as well by Kathy as well, that we'll check out. So let me share my screen, and we'll get started with the website droneswatch.org. So this is a place for drone lovers. I kind of like seeing that, I suppose, when I land on a homepage, because otherwise I don't really, know what to expect just by looking at this thing that is a drone. And, it's a lot of empty spaces still. Maybe there's a video that's meant to be playing or something that I'm not seeing on my browser, potentially. Maybe there is. Let me know if that's the case. So this is an affiliate site for drones. So let's just have a look to see. And this is quite interesting, seeing link building for affiliate sites as well, Bibi. So there should be some interesting things.
I do that.
So I'm just going to quickly see just how it's laid out. It seems to not be such a complex looking website. Obviously, you've got, standard affiliate site. There's not too much for me to say. I think I've seen a lot of affiliate sites. They all look very similar. So you got to think, like, how do I make my affiliate site more different? Like, could you embed videos potentially of people using these certain products? Because if you just talk about a certain, if you talk about a certain goggle, right, but people won't know how it is actually like. So if you were to just either go on YouTube and just embed somebody's video talking about them, you could probably just do that to at least give people more context and a better idea of what the product actually is. Because, if I'm going to check the price and I expect these to be quite expensive, right? If people are going to spend a lot of money on these things, then it's better to give them more sophisticated or more comprehensive ways to kind of understand what the product's about, if that makes sense. So, this is all quite just standard stuff. There's a featured image that's missing for 7 best drone flight controller of 2020. And let me just check the about page. Put an image here, at least make it look real, like it's actually somebody called Catherine who's who's running this site. But Bibi, have you found anything from the backlink profile that's interesting to mention? Or
I think they've been very active in backlink building, and I see some links from pretty big sites. I also saw I saw a dip in traffic around May, but it picked up quite quickly, so maybe there was something wrong with the indexation or something like that. Let me see. I get a feeling that they probably bought a lot of these links, so they paid for links. Is that
Bibi, do you mind sharing your screen maybe, and then we can just so people can see what you're referring to?
Yeah, let me see.
All right.
How do I do it? Oh yeah.
Let me add your. There you are.
Whoa! Inception. Okay, so here I'm looking at these, and I saw some relevant links about drones and stuff. But I feel like, so I feel like they did a lot of link building, but I'm not sure if it's all, how do you say, relevant and, well, this kind of looks cool, relevant and natural, but it seems like it's quite varied, so it might be okay. eHow, but if you, so it doesn't look bad to me right away. I mean, I see some links where I think like, okay, this is paid, or these are a lot of comments or stuff, but because it's so varied. Here you see all these blogspot things. It looks okay to me, the backlinks overall. I don't know. I didn't see anything. Well, I didn't see anything like super shady. Maybe there might be some PBNs in there, but yeah.
Well, if it has the Bibi seal of approval, I suppose it's
No,
okay then.
it's more like, okay, I think there's some maybe some sort of Google not approved stuff, or but it doesn't immediately look horrible to me. If I was building, oh shit, am I sharing? Are we still
No,
sharing the screen?
no,
Okay.
I've taken it out.
So if I was building links for this site, I would definitely like to add some links through cold outreach with, real sites with editors, and just strengthen it from there. Also, the site does look horrible, but it does look very crappy. It immediately says on the homepage, this is an Amazon affiliate site, doesn't have any storytelling or whatever. That said, though, sometimes these sites can make a lot of money, even if they're horribly ugly. I mean,
at the end of the day, it's down to many factors, right? It's down to your
Yeah.
competition. It's down to, how are you building enough links? Do you have enough good content? Are people engaged? And Rushin mentioned that they bought an expired domain, so a lot of the links could have been from there. But even stuff as well about, credibility, as Andy's saying, reviews and videos for the drones from other people who have reviewed it. And then, all of that really will just make the user experience a lot better. So, that's something to consider with this. And I see myself freezing a lot on the live chat. I hope I'm not freezing and people can actually hear, but they can see the message that Andy's put out, which pretty much covers it well. And Arthur as well was mentioning about your point in terms of your approach with webmasters. If you say you were to build a link to this affiliate site, for instance, so about offering them an incentive such as free content in return for a link. So, how would you do that maybe in this case? Obviously, this is referring more to the previous site, but is that something that you could maybe adapt or apply to this affiliate site potentially?
Yeah, okay. So about the of course, with the guest posts stuff, like the free content stuff, it's just how you package it. Because in the end, of course, it's free content for a link. But in your outreach, you don't say it like that. So when my team, when they create emails, I go through them and I check them. And one of the terms that I use is to link buildery. As soon as you start sounding like a link builder, somebody in somebody's brain, the editor's brain, they'll go like, "Uh-oh, it's one of those," and they'll go like, "What?" Delete, or worse, they go like spam, and then your whole campaign is fucked. So it's about how you package it. If you have a great idea for their blog and you can explain why it's great and also do that in a personable way, then the value exchange is still the same. It's like free content, linky, but you charm them into it, and they're not stupid. You shouldn't mislead them that it's not for a link, but it's just the way you say it. But if we look, you asked me to apply to this site, right? So
I'll put your screen back on the.
Oh yeah. My screen. Yeah. So Russian am I saying it right? I hope I'm saying it right, the name. Okay. So he said that this is an expired domain. I don't know that much about expired domains, but when I look at this domain, it seems like Google is okay with it. So I would just build it up to something that looks like an actual company. Even if it's an affiliate thing, it still has to look like an actual company with real people. So I would build it up. Then this jumps out to me, place for drone lovers, and get drone reviews, buying guide, and drone technology updates. So where is their bloggy stuff? Oh, this is their blog stuff. How high can a drone fly? Just looking, these are all reviews. Now, what I would be thinking about is what kind of people buy drones and what kind of sites do they visit. Now I can think about that on the top of my head, but I actually don't know. So I would definitely go into that. Let's say drone trends 2020 or something, and I just go into the niche, and then I start looking at what kind of stuff comes up, right? So these are all. This is Goldman Sachs stuff. Ooh, intelligence, but it's Mordor. Let me see. Philly by air. Okay. So you could reach out to drone sites, but that's a bit too close. I did see something here. Drones. Powerful business tools. Right. So they're powerful business tools. So what about businesses that use drones to show their products? Maybe it's real estate or something. I don't know. I would just look. Oh, here, firefighting, and farming. So let's say, so I don't know why farming, or maybe it's about forest fires, or I would research that, and then see why would you use drones in farming, and then look at sites that target the farming industry and pitch them topics. And what I always say to people, you have to have a variety of topics that you pitch, and it shouldn't be too much on the nose of your product. So one of the headlines could be about drones, how to protect your how to protect the bottom line of your farm or something with security or whatever. And but I would go into the farming industry and then find out what are interesting topics to farmers right now, and then somehow bridge the relevancy with drones. So you find a headline for an article that wherein a paragraph could link out to your drone site. And then, of course, you need to have an article that would be relevant for this. So, for instance, how to get a drone out of a tree, right? So you would write an article about the farming industry and then make a paragraph about how to use drones for farming for a specific pain point that they have. And then in it, you would link to this blog article about getting it out of a tree. Something like that. And make sure that that paragraph has a lot of the, keywords that you want to use, and of course the headings and all that stuff. I hope that kind of helps.
You know what, Bibi? Go ahead.
It's Inception again. Maybe you should say.
Oh, right. Wait, so, do you know what? I think that is a massively important golden nugget that I'm going to just repeat, because this helps any site trying to build links, is that don't be afraid to branch out and think outside the box in terms of the types of sites that you can get links from. So for this example, we're looking at use cases for drones. So we look at, who's ranking for kind of like drones in 2020, best drones, whatever. And you figure out what the kind of use cases are for drones. And we found farming, and it's like, well, okay, we can go look into the farming niche, and then you can do more specific searches. So like drones in farming or drones for farming, and see what people are talking about. Then you can look at certain communities that have been talking about using drones specifically for farming purposes. Like you mentioned, Bibi, find the pain points, and then figure out how to align your content if you've got content that can be relevant for that, as the example was with the tree. And then you can use that to kind of guest post or get an article and pitch to someone saying, we understand the pain points about using drones potentially in farming, and we'd love to write this piece for your blog. And it's something that their audience would probably be very much like to have a read of. So that's something that I think is very, very crucial about branching out, thinking outside the box in terms of ways that you can apply use cases for certain products or certain niches and services that you can then match and then get links from. So that was a really, really great point that you said. So yeah, that's everyone give Bibi a golden star, or however we want to commend her for that tip. So we've got a quick question from Malin, and then we'll get on to Kathy's site. We've got about 20 minutes left, so we should be okay.
This goes quickly.
So Malin's asking about, if you have a multilingual site, so what's the percentage that you'd build links in terms of, let's say, building, how many percent of backlinks would you build for the English side of the site, or how many for an Italian part of the site? So the different TLDs for geography, the country code, stuff like that. So how would you go about that?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question, but I actually don't know the answer. Well, I've heard, but I've never tested it out myself, that building links in a different language, so let's say in English, will also impact the rankings on another language on a site. But I don't know, because I haven't tested it. I am doing stuff in Swedish right now, but that's only started. So I've only built a couple of links yet, and we still have to see the results. And all those links, so the site of the client itself is in multiple languages, but I'm building links to the Swedish part of the site. And I'm not sure yet what the effect is going to be. So I don't know the answer to this one. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
I think, in terms of getting a multilingual site, you've got to think about what you need to prioritize more. I think you need to think of what are the most important pages that you do want to get links from. Just because you're going to have more URLs, you've got, different languages, it might be easier to get links on pages that are in a certain language. I think, when we talk about English and how English is spoken in lots of countries, and it's recognized by, probably the majority of the world, they at least know of the language, then it might be easier to get links to that from most sites, as opposed to trying to get links to, the same kind of page that's in Italian. So I would say that you've got to really prioritize. I think English is probably going to dominate it more, unless obviously you're targeting specific sites that are only in Italian and getting links to your Italian pages. So, and that would make it obviously more relevant if it is in the same language. So definitely prioritize and at least do the right prospecting first, so you can kind of understand where you're trying to get the links from, and specifically to which pages, and how it will be a good fit, I would say, is the answer to that. So I hope that at least helped you out, Malin. Let us know if it did. And we've got a website from Kathy-Lynn Ward, which is Barbados Vacation Apartments. And that is... Hello, Kathy. How are you doing? Let me put that in the private chat, Bibi, so it's easier for you to just copy paste. Yeah. But I'll share my screen and we can get started on this website. So you gotta love EMDs, right? The exact match domains. Barbados Vacation Apartments. I mean, I'm so glad I have my other monitor that I can copy and paste what you put in the chat and add the full stop there. But right off the bat, it is kind of what you'd expect, right? So you've got rentals, so 1-bedroom apartment, 2 or 3-bedroom apartment. You've got different kind of USPs about this place. You've got different call to actions as well. I mean, to be honest, do you really need the same CTA like so close to the other ones? Because I'd assume that this goes to the same place. So one's slash upstairs, one slash downstairs, which is quite interesting how you've labeled the path here. So you've decided to put downstairs as 1-bedroom apartment. Maybe all 1-bedroom apartments are downstairs, probably are. But anyway, let's keep going. So you've got things to do nearby, which is really good as well. And if I want to read more about this location, what do we find? So this is just different areas as well. They're not clickable per se. So, you're not really, you're splitting it out in terms of different categories of different types of areas, but it's fine. I mean, you've got a nice map there as well. So if you can click on these and at least know what's nearby, that's really good. Let's just have a look at, so 1-bedroom apartment. I mean, you've got facilities here. You've got I don't know. It looks to me like a lot of text. Apart from this part here, it just looks like a lot of text. Do you have? Could you maybe have the images displayed better? Like maybe if you hover over this image, it kind of changes up here or something like that, or some videos as well. I know people nowadays. One trend that I've seen with like real estate companies is that they'd have like a 360-degree experience thing where you can kind of go and click and see all of the rooms in a certain place. So that's something that I've noticed that you could maybe get added in there. And you can book the apartment and ask a question. So, okay, so let's see. So you've got these parameters as well, asking questions about particular apartments, which is fine. About the 1-bedroom apartments that we've seen. Connect via social. Do these link to anywhere? They do, which is good. Yeah, I mean, there's not too much to critique, I suppose, except, you've just got to, again, you put, as soon as you put more effort in than competitors in terms of really focusing on the UX, then that's how you'll get more bookings and more appointments and stuff like that, I think personally. So when you're looking at an apartment, you want to see more than just 4 images. You want to be able to click, see the different rooms, know exactly what there is in this, say in this kind of location, just stuff like that, really. But let's move it on more to the off page stuff. So, Bibi, what have you found in terms of the backlink profile of this site?
Yeah, I don't see a lot of backlinks. So you could definitely start building those. I would look at the competitors to see what kind of backlinks they have, and also what you need to do for that. But I would like to know who she's targeting mainly. So my sister works in the hotel industry on Mallorca, and they have specific people for the hotels that she manages. So one of the hotels is a childless hotel, no kids allowed. And it's for people that earn a little bit more, and that are often couples or something like that, or a little bit older. Here. The site was launched in mid-July. There's not many links yet. Any suggestions for buildings for a new site? Any tools you would recommend in addition to SEMRush? Yeah, I use both. I use Ahrefs and SEMRush. At this point, I use Ahrefs more, but I've started to look into SEMRush as well, because their traffic analysis is way more exact. So, for instance, in Ahrefs, I have an affiliate site, and in Ahrefs it says, "Oh, you get 400 visits a month," but it's actually like 3,000. So it's very off. And in SEMRush, it's very close to the actual number. But as far as building links, I think I would go for the obvious ones first. So local links. Look at your competitors, where they're linking, and then maybe start reaching out to bloggers that share the same audience. That maybe there are older couples that want to rent one of your rooms, but you have to think about who they are and what kind of sites would they look into. Also, I don't see anything about COVID or something, so that would be interesting to me. I would definitely build up the content more, so it becomes even more useful. And then so go for the obvious links first. Look at your competitors, start going after those, and then look more at sites that have a lot of content that's relevant to the audience or relevant to the keywords you're targeting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a bit general advice. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's general advice, but it's the basics, really. If you've got a new site, you've got to get the easy ones first. After that, you can become a lot more creative, I suppose, in terms of the building up linkable assets, getting some content that will really blow people away about, Barbados and things like that. That will make it easier for you to get links to further down the line. But I guess that's, kind of what everyone wants, really. They want to be able to build that up in the long run.
And if you're local, if you're like well, in a way you're local because it's Barbados, but you're also not local because you're targeting tourists. So
Well,
they're
there we go. We're
somewhere
targeting
else.
UK,
Yeah.
Canada, and US travelers.
So you have to look at it as well. But as far as easy links goes, for local, you could feature local companies and they will give you links. And those are not often the highest authoritative sites, but they are super, super relevant. Yeah, so I would definitely collaborate with local companies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hopefully that helps answer your question, Kathy-Lynn. Obviously, thanks for submitting the site. Malin as well, you're welcome for
Oh,
that was for
we have
the,
more sites.
what's that?
We have more sites. Prism, Alchemy Leads.
Oh yeah, we had like some sites suggested beforehand. So we've got 10 minutes left. We do
No.
have a question from Shafi as well, but it's not directly, it's kind of related to link building, but maybe we can answer that really quick and then get on to the last one, or we can just pick one from the kind of batch that we had. So Shafi was asking that their clients provide salon and nail services and they give services in different areas. So to target all the areas in SEO, I mean, you can create different landing pages for different areas if it's not completely unreasonable. There's no reason why you couldn't do that. You check their GMBs. Do they have multiple locations for the Google My Business and things like that? So, you can create separate landing pages that might be better. But obviously, both can work. Even having many landing pages targeting different areas can work. Having one area that's at least, if it's nearby loads of other smaller areas, that can also still work in terms of proximity and things like that. So my answer would be, you can try creating the landing pages. It's not gonna, and you have multiple GMPs. So yeah, there's no harm in trying to do that. I've seen that working so far, so no reason why you shouldn't try. Test it out and let me know how it goes. Shafi, I'll be interested to know what happens with that client site if you implement those. And I guess Bibi, let's just try and get through one more, maybe two, if we can squeeze it out from. So which one do you want to go through?
Well, it depends if they're here. Wonder Gullets. Who was that? Was that Malin?
Yeah. So was that his? Because we've got Prism-me, we've got Alchemy Leads, and we've got Wonder Gullets.
Well, I think Malin is definitely here. I don't know if who Prism was again. If they're here. But we can
okay. So that was Malin's, right? So
Wonder Gullets, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess let's go through that because he's here. So it's at least more actionable.
Sorry for the other guys if you're here.
Obviously, we only have an hour, but obviously you can always feel free to join in next week as well if we didn't have time in this session. So yeah, let's do it. So wondergullets.com. I don't know. What's a Wonder Gullet? Do you know?
I think it's a kind of a boat because I see a lot of boats.
Is that because you're in the Netherlands and you guys have a lot of boats? Or?
No, I see a lot of boats.
You mean like on the websites? I got you. All right. Okay, cool. So let me share my screen and we'll go through it. So Wonder Gullet. So so a gullet seems to be like a type of, is it a type of boat or is it something within the, okay. So this is a gullet. That's something new that I've learned today. Right off the bat, okay, you see that background image for me, it loaded up too late, like quite late, and then it was hard for me to see the text. But yeah, so we've got, different ways to sort in terms of where you're based, in terms of how many cabins, different categories, So let's just go into one and see what this is like, just to look at this kind of individual page. So you've got some nice images in there, which is good. You've got different specs as well, which is nice. You've got your price list, what it includes, what it doesn't. Reviews, I don't see. Obviously, if you're renting Gullet, you want to know reviews from other people who have it. Do they?
Yeah, I think they have it
on this page. Or
I saw on the bottom client reviews.
Okay, so that's its own page, right? Okay. That's fine. I'm just thinking generally
And
it doesn't
that's
harm to
Italian.
have it doesn't harm to have reviews, just in one or two maybe on this particular gullet, just so people know what that's like specifically. But let's just see other services. So it seems to be like you've got a fair bit of pages as well, and obviously we can filter it by these categories in terms of the locations. Let's just check another cruise events. Okay, so yeah, that could potentially add just more multimedia, make this look a bit more appealing to read the full thing. Just a personal thing. It doesn't, it's just these little things that you can just notice right off the bat. You've got a special offers section here. Did these change? I'm not sure. Maybe that's just me, but this seems a bit difficult to navigate. No offer. Oh, maybe it's just because there's nothing available. That's fine. You do have a blog as well, which I'm going to obviously take a look at, because a lot of times the easiest place to get links to is blog content. So, if it's not the homepage or if it's not a main service page. So let's just have a look at how you've laid this out here. So let's see, a brief intro to Turkey vacations. So with something like this, people would probably be interested in at least, you can see you've got the internal link there to a standard blue cruise, which is good. That's the kind of stuff you want to have on these posts as well. And you've also got other internal links about, how to get to the city center. That did 301, so I would update that link. Because if it's 301ing, there's no point, just update that internal link here just to this URL, the final URL here. But it's good, I like seeing internal links. I like seeing blog posts with images. It's much nicer to read. The font size is good as well. You've bolded certain bits. You've got, the different heading tags as well, which is good. And also, this is quite nice. Is this the weather in this particular region? Because if it is, that's insane.
What I do notice though is that there's a huge style break between the main site and the blog. So it's a little bit weird when you go to the blog. And also the blog it's not that easy to find, but that's okay, I guess, if you're just using the blog to, pass SEO juice to the money pages.
But then how do you get back to the homepage as well? Because once you're on this blog page, if people want to go back to see your, okay, you can book cabin, but, you should have an option for people to go back to the homepage. But sorry, Bibi, what were you saying just then?
Yeah, so from a user experience perspective and also branding, I would definitely try to make it more seamless, and that a person doesn't actually know that they're going to a completely different location. And that they just can go back and forth between the main site and the blog without noticing that they're actually going somewhere else. Because now it's basically two different companies or two different entities, If you look at the logo, for instance, you have the logo on the main site and then you go to the blog and it's like, doom, completely...
it's just the title, isn't it?
So for link building as well, if I was building links... and somebody would check out the site. If they would check out the main site, they might think, oh, they're just selling stuff. I don't see anything that's informational. If they're just checking out the blog, they might think, ooh, looks crappy. This looks like super outdated and doesn't look like a real company. Nobody cares about it. So for link building, I would definitely, and for your user experience, I would work on the blog so it doesn't look like a complete departure.
Yeah, because the rankings aren't too bad. They're not too bad. Like, you rank for some decent search volumes in position 1. So it's just the UX kind of thing as well, because I think you've got a lot of things right, but consistency is something, again, that's really important.
That's always the caveat. We can rip sites apart, but if they're making money, don't change anything.
Well, there's certain things you can change, but it's not like you're doing things terribly, so don't feel like...
Yeah,
but like we're mentioning as well, and in terms of building links as well, you've got a bunch of links from sites with maybe a low DR, but if they're related to travel and that kind of stuff, then it's okay, I think, unless it's like
Yeah.
too many links and it gets really crazy. But you know, you're doing things right,
Well,
which is good. So
yeah. So about link building for this, when I would look at a competitor in a different area that does something very similar to you and see how they are getting their backlinks, and just reverse engineer that and copy it for your own site and see how it works. Just start with one thing at a time, because it could also work for this site, right? And otherwise, I would just reach out to travel bloggers and sites that have your audience. And then also, research what kind of content works really well for those in terms of referring domains, in terms of traffic, in terms of social shares, and create something on your site as a linkable asset. The thing is that people often think a linkable asset has to be a 30,000 word giant guide, but it doesn't need to be. Sometimes it can be just a simple lookup source. So for instance, I was looking for coins on Google, silver coins and stuff, and I found out people were searching for the worth of a coin of a specific year, and you could just make a table and that's it, and you can do that in 1 hour and you're done, you know. So linkable asset doesn't have to be this skyscraper huge thing that's going to cost you thousands of content budget stuff. It can just be a simple thing that people look for. But yeah,
absolutely. And obviously there's so many different strategies that you can implement, and you know, we've talked about a few, but if you do want to learn more about different strategies, there's a post that I wrote that Bibi actually looked through, and she kind of gave me the expert opinions on it and stuff like that. So I've put that in the chat if you want to check it out. Unfortunately, we are out of time for this week's episode, and the hour went by really quickly.
I don't even know if I helped people. Can you please let me know in the comments if
let Bibi know if you helped. If
I didn't help you, hit me up on Facebook and I'll have a look at your site and give, because it's really hard to think of things on the spot as well.
Yeah.
So I would love to help you out for free. Well, not won't work, but I'll give you advice.
But honestly, thank you, Bibi, so much for joining me for this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you back next week, where hopefully my camera quality won't be terrible. For some reason it was this week, but thanks for sticking through it. As well, thanks a lot, Carl, for tuning in, and everyone else as well. We'll catch you next week, so have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you later.
Bye.